sprinkling in some cybersecurity experts to plug any holes in their digital security. French cruller fans can still get their donuts the old-fashioned way. Brick-and-mortar stores are still open. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Little bit of a mixed bag all of a sudden on Wall Street. The Dow is now down a little bit more than 25 points to 44,222. S&P 500 is up 51 points to 6,085. And the NASDAQ is up almost 340 points to 20,026. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Signing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:06.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. Better is around the corner in 2025. Feeling better. Getting rid of joint pain once and for all. QC Kinetics patients are able to walk up and down stairs, sleep without pain. Basically, they feel normal again. That can be you. The time is now. Take action to get the pain relief you deserve in 2025. Call QC Kinetics and say goodbye to the shoulder, the knee, or the back pain. QC Kinetics local medical professionals are waiting for you. Regenerative medicine means starting the new year without achy joints. No more pain pills, no steroid shots. The best part, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. Meet their local folks in Greenfield or their clinic in Mequon. I've been there. Great people looking to work with you. And the best part, you can use your FSA dollars. Live the best life in 2025. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Did you know that military veterans in Wisconsin carry millions of dollars in debt? This holiday season, it's time to give back to those who have given so much. Verizon and the Milwaukee Bucks are teaming up with ForgiveCo to make a difference with the Verizon Debt Relief Program. All December long, Verizon and ForgiveCo will relieve $250,000 of debt each week to ease the burden on local heroes. To find out how military veterans and members can receive special Verizon offers, visit verizon.com/military. Let's bring the spirit of giving to those who served.
Are you dreaming of updating the outside of your home? Add a project with J&J Contractors to your Christmas list this year. Family owned and operated since 1983, J&J Contractors specializes in roofing, windows, siding, and doors. Don't wait to start thinking about your exterior. Let them do the work on the outside now so you can enjoy it once spring is here. Schedule your free consultation today. Just Google J&J Contractors or call 414-423-9200. J&J Contractors. Welcome home.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks advanced to the semifinals of the NBA's in-season tournament with last night's win over the Magic. The Bucks now 2 wins away from winning the Emirates Cup.
Our goal is not just to get to Vegas. We want to win this thing, so we got 2 more games left. But it's good to get there. You got to get there first, and we've done that.
Yeah, let's win this thing. The Bucks will take the court in Vegas on Saturday against an opponent to be determined. The Packers are 3-point favorites for Sunday night's game against the Seahawks in Seattle. The Packers begin the practice week today. And the NFL announces it will play a regular season game in Berlin, Germany for the first time next season. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. We have a new incident that just popped up, and I'll say incident because that's exactly what it says, and the cameras don't show you that area. So I don't know yet if it's a crash or just a disabled vehicle, but it's on 4145 South, just a little bit beyond the ramp from Hampton Avenue. Left shoulder is blocked due to that incident.
Traffic is sponsored by SB Framing Gallery, Milwaukee's distinctive archival framing.
SB Framing Gallery in the 3rd Ward can enhance and protect your artwork for generations. Framing pieces with archival and distinctive design. Learn more at sbframinggallery.com.
Today, chance of snow. Have any of you seen any yet? Cloudy, windy, and chilly. High of only 30. Wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, that's when it starts to get really cold. We have a low of 2, wind chills below 0. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, windy, and very cold. Our high tomorrow is only 14 degrees. Friday, increasing clouds, and we're going to warm things up. High of 32. That's going to feel much better. Saturday, 40. We have an early wintry mix. Rain is likely on Saturday. It's going to be a bit messy. Sunday, mostly cloudy, and a high of 43. It's currently 32 degrees in Kenosha, 25 in Waukesha, and 32 in Milwaukee. I'm Jessica Ty. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:10.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday.
Yay.
It is the calm before the chill. I did find out.
Yes.
We may have to be standing outside tomorrow.
What? How dedicated are you to the Salvation
I am
Army?
dedicated. I am dedicated.
Really?
I am dedicated mostly because Debbie Bry already told the woman at Pick and Save in Wisconsin Rapids because she was so proud that I'm doing it. And the woman was very happy to hear that I was doing it. But they asked Public Market basically if we can set for context for anyone who wasn't listening yesterday. Yeah. I am one of the bell ringers for the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign at Public Market tomorrow from 4 to 5. Feel free to stop by. But it's supposed to be very cold tomorrow. And we were joking yesterday as we talked to the commissioner of the Salvation Army. I'm like, I wonder if we'll be able to sit inside. And the email today said dress warm.
Wow. All right, listen, we tried to do this for Julia last Wednesday when she was very peckish before trivia and asked people to bring her a sandwich, and they did not. I would urge everyone to go by the Public Market between 4 and 5 tomorrow and bring either a hot chocolate or a hot toddy for Kristen. She'll be standing out there doing God's work, and I'm afraid she'll lose a foot.
And then pick up
it's
some
over.
food and bring it to Jessica Ty at North Pillar Brewing
That's
in
right.
Waukesha for a trip. No,
Tonight.
That's
It's
tonight.
tonight.
Sorry,
It's
we're gonna
tonight.
miss it.
That's actually why I picked Waukesha when I'm always doing the weather. I picked 3 cities, and I'm like, I'm doing Waukesha because tonight we've got trivia. North Pillar
How are
Brewing
you
starting
at
at 7
trivia?
o'clock. Well, according to Wisconsin's midday news test, I'm pretty good.
Are you better than Greg?
But I would not have said that before we did this little test. I was very nervous about it. Greg didn't do so well when we tested him, but it's all about what the questions are. That's the thing.
it.
Yeah.
I was all nervous. I thought, because I'm one of those people, I like to look at the question and think about it. And I feel like trivia, you want to be real fast.
Well, Jeopardy, you definitely want to be fast.
Yeah, and then
Well,
that's
trivia,
kind
they
of
move on
what we were
quick,
doing
yeah.
today. Yeah. So, but yeah, I was actually pretty pleasantly pleased. Do you know what the Queen of Spices is?
No.
That was one I didn't know either.
All right. Then I feel less dumb then.
Do you
All
have,
right.
Do you have the answer?
Google it. It's like cardamom.
Oh, okay.
Cardamom?
Oh, it's not like a brand?
No. It's like an actual,
It's the actual
it's an actual
Spice is the queen of all the spices?
Yeah, I had
Oh.
never heard of that one. So I
haven't
thought,
either.
okay, I kind of liked that one.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, have fun tonight.
Yeah.
Jessica's going to be there with Sandy Max and Jeff Sherman at 7 o'clock. North Pillar Brewing in Waukesha.
Waukesha. All right. Well, coming up today, we have a stacked show. We have a lot of really interesting interviews coming up today at the bottom of the hour at 1:35. This happened last month, but in Madison, did you know that Madison is the largest city in the Midwest that doesn't use body-worn cameras right now?
That is a surprise.
Right?
I didn't
Especially
know
liberal
that. Yeah.
Madison. But they've been running a pilot project that was testing out over the last year, and now their police chief is requesting that the city council fund widespread use of body cameras. So we're going to talk to an expert on criminal law and procedure to discuss both the benefits and the drawbacks of police departments using cameras, dash cams, body cams, all of it. And then we're going to give our 2 cents on the missing kayakers, since we've been casually following that story. And it doesn't seem quite over yet, but there's, as you've heard, new developments.
There are new developments just since we were talking about it this morning. Then we'll spin the state, and after we take a spin around the state, we are going to talk about the Wisconsin Department of Health Services and vaccines. And I know you're thinking, oh, no, vaccines, we don't want to. Yes, there's a vaccine denial, hesitancy. So we're going to talk a little bit about vaccine hesitancy. And then the state parks are having a birthday, so we will be joined by the Recreation Partnership section chief for the DNR to tell us all about the big state park birthday and how you can celebrate all 2025. And if you've bought a Christmas tree, you probably got good news this year if it was a real tree. So we'll talk a little bit about that too.
But coming up next, it's been a while since we talked to the fabulous farm babe.
know.
Pam Yankee is going to join us to talk about some of the trends happening and any of the shifts that we've seen, because I don't think we've talked to her since the election.
You are right. Yeah,
So, yeah.
It's been a long time since we talked
So
to
we got
Pam.
a lot of questions. We got avian flu, we got dairy, we got, what else we got?
She talked to the outgoing Senate Ag Chair this weekend.
So many things. If you have farm questions for the fabulous farm babe, 855-616-1620. When we come back, we will talk to Pam Yankee.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our Retirement Ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
All right, well, we were just talking about it with the one and only Jessica Ty, but if you want to test your trivia acumen, you can do it tonight, Wednesday, December 11th at WTMJ's Trivia Showdown, presented by Quizmaster Trivia in support of Capco's Kids A Kids Toy Drive. Join WTMJ's Jeff Sherman, Sadie Max, and Jessica Ty as they host the competition at North Pillar Brewing in Waukesha at 7 o'clock. If you can't make it, you can still help Capco's Kids A Kids Toy Drive with a monetary donation. Just text Capco with a K to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620 to donate. But if you can go tonight, just grab an unused and unwrapped toy, some of your favorite friends, and join us at WTMJ's Trivia Showdown presented by Quizmaster Trivia in support of Capco's Kids A Kids Toy Drive this Wednesday, tonight, December 11th at North Pillar Brewing in Waukesha.
Monica, what delightful surprise do you have for us this Christmas?
I've been waiting all day for your big reveal.
Take a look and tell me what you see.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
I see the North Star. That guiding light that always lets you know where you are.
The North Star is important to you?
Sitting directly above the axis of the Earth, it's the only star in the sky that never moves. It's always there for you.
Sarah?
I see the star that stood high over Bethlehem 2,000 years ago.
Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might.
Monica, it's fabulous.
Nicole Lasker designed it.
I love her.
What's it called?
The Star of Hope. We have them in sterling silver with 4 diamonds for just $198. And in white gold with bigger and bigger diamonds at prices up to $19.98.
I love it.
I love it even more than Rick does.
The Star of Hope.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
This holiday season, give the gift of a smile with Community Smiles Dental, a nonprofit dental clinic helping kids on state insurance in southeastern Wisconsin get the compassionate care they deserve. For just $55, you can cover a child's dental exam and care, a small price for a healthy smile and a stronger community. Donate to the Smiles for the Season campaign, sponsored by First Business Bank at communitysmiles.org. Everyone deserves a healthy smile. Make your gift today at communitysmiles.org.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Kristen Bry.
And I'm Brian Noonan. It has been a while since we've been down on the farm with the fabulous farm babe, Pam Yankee. You can hear her every morning here on the Midwest Farm Report from 5 to 6 on WTMJ. So many things we need to know. Thankfully, Pam is here. Hi, Pam.
Children, how are we doing today?
We were
elevated to children.
I am so happy to be called a child. Pam, you don't know you made my holidays.
Everybody's a kid to me.
There you go.
I call everybody kid.
I love it. All right, let's start with the raw milk. We've got the raw milk being tested now. The USDA is saying, hey, we got to test it for H5N1, the avian flu. Why? What are they looking for, and what triggered this investigation?
So the big deal is, and if I could pop up a map, what you'd see is basically the concentration of concern is in California right now. They are red hot. Their dairy herds are still contracting cases every day. Wisconsin has never had H5N1 in our dairy herd. We haven't even had a case in our birds since January. So don't think that there's anything here in Wisconsin you've got to be alarmed about. What USDA is doing is trying to get a little bit more knowledge on what H5N1 is. How can it move from a bird to a cow, or from a cow back to a bird? How can it move from a cow to a person? That makes a little bit more sense to me, because if you've ever milked a cow, you know you got to get pretty doggone close to her to do it.
Yeah.
So I get some of that, but the USDA says even after they pasteurize milk, that's why milk is safe to drink regardless of H5N1. Pasteurization knocks it out. But there is RNA left in that milk, and they want to watch it. They want to make sure that if there's any changes, if there's any deviations whatsoever, that they're on top of it, because obviously this is the same kind of thing that taught the world a lesson with the pandemic. So they've got eyes on it. Everything is still safe. Don't become alarmed. It's just that USDA wants to gather more scientific knowledge. The first 6 states that are on the initial testing of going to milk plants and sampling the raw milk in their silos are California, Colorado, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Mississippi, and Oregon. Don't know necessarily rhyme or reason on that, but that's where they're starting. And I talked to our Ag Secretary, Randy Romansky, and he said Wisconsin's already been doing that just as a voluntary kind of thing to make sure everything's good. The other reason I kind of want to bring it up is for anybody that's got anxiety about this, maybe parents, there is a website where you can take the carton of milk or jug of milk out of your refrigerator and locate the code for that milk. It will tell you exactly where that milk came from. And if you're shopping some of the larger retail stores, make no assumptions that that's Wisconsin milk. So the website is whereismymilkfrom.com.
That's easy.
Whereismymilkfrom.com. And Wisconsin's code is 55. If you're old like me, you remember when that was a legal speed limit. 55.
Or Sammy Hagar cannot drive that speed,
there you go.
Pam.
There you go. That a baby. But if you're curious and you're just kind of wondering about that, or you're going grocery shopping this afternoon, be careful on the roads, then look for 55 on that dairy code. The website tells you exactly where to look and exactly what you're looking for. But the bottom line is milk and dairy is safe. Wisconsin is the leader when it comes to biosecurity and safety measures. But USDA just wants to try to make sure if anything starts changing, that they're on top of it.
Just on this topic real quick, Pam, I had not heard of raw milk. I know when farmers milk a cow, that milk is raw. I didn't know it was a big craze in drinking. What's the, I know the difference, but why are people drinking milk that is not pasteurized?
Buddy, you got me. I grew up on a dairy farm in Oconto County, and we drank raw milk because that's what we could afford. So I had to put boots on and take a pitcher out to the barn. And then after a certain period in time, we couldn't do that anymore because that is against food safety standards and obviously, again, speaking to my age. But I drank raw milk. The fascination that people have with raw milk is sometimes taste. Sometimes they believe that it has more health ingredients, antibodies, what have you. My point with raw milk, especially in this day and time, I wouldn't drink raw milk today if I wasn't the one milking the cows. You're putting a great deal of faith in that farm, how they handle their animals, that they can look into the eyes of that animal and know if she's got a fever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if your body has never been exposed to raw milk, you can get sick very, very fast.
Ooh.
That's why the government in Wisconsin, raw milk is illegal, flat out. No ifs, ands, or buts. Raw milk is illegal. If you get into some elaborate agreement where essentially you're assuming all risk, you may find one or two places where you can secure it. But in the state of Wisconsin, raw milk is illegal primarily because of the food safety concerns. If it's not pasteurized, you got all kinds of buglets that are running around in that milk that your body may not be able to take into account. And H5N1 could indeed be one of those. I just looked. There's a farm called Raw Milk Raw Farm or Raw Milk LLC in California that's going to end up in litigation because they continue to sell raw milk after their cows tested positive for H5N1.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I grew up with it, but I wouldn't drink it today if you forced me.
Well, so what you just said, Pam, so it's illegal in Wisconsin. So as of right now, are these all up to the state as far as the legality of it? Or because obviously this is in the news because of RFK Jr., right? And like what what federally could happen? Would that would they have Congress have to pass a law to override state law?
I think that I don't know that anybody's ready to go down that rat hole of fighting for raw milk in some kind of governed way. It is a state-by-state, basically, food safety rule, guideline, law that has implemented. I think in Minnesota, I think you can get raw milk in Minnesota. You know, every state's been doing it kind of on an individual basis. But in Wisconsin, America's Dairyland, no way. That is absolutely against our law to transact business with raw milk. That's why I said some farms have tried to skirt it, and you buy a share of a cow or you buy a portion of, the paddock or what have you, and then you assume all responsibility, all liability, so that farmer's theoretically, anyhow, completely off the hook. I say it doesn't work. I say that if a consumer gets sick enough, if their kids get sick and potentially die, that farm is still going to be held liable.
Good. Let's turn from dying from milk, hypothetically, to the manure app that UW researchers have created. Why do we need a manure app? I've got so much manure on my phone as it is, Pam.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, my friend. So when we had that warm weather a long time ago, last weekend, farms were taking advantage of that. You probably smelt our derriere in many different places across the state. And I was thinking to myself, this app basically is GPS guided. The farmer or the manure applicator downloads it into their system or onto their phone, and it basically cross-references all of the soil maps, all of the nutrient management maps that farm has, combines it together so that as they're applying those nutrients, literally the steering wheel of the machine will start to shimmy, if they are getting too close to sensitive areas. So they come back online and get away from those sensitive areas. It'll tell them how many pounds or how many gallons go on in a certain area. It will cross-reference all of the data from once they've applied it, generate a report that cross-references with all of the guidelines they must follow, generate a report, email it to you, email it to officials, and make sure that you are operating on the up and up when it comes to those manure management plans. And I'm guessing that a lot of people that were holding their nose driving past some of those fields last weekend probably didn't know all the technology that was right there next to them.
Pam, I'm going to steal Brian's joke, but why didn't they? It was just hanging right there. Why don't they call it the crap app?
I don't. UW.
Those academics.
I mean,
that was actually Pam's joke. That wasn't mine. That was Pam's. I'm not taking credit for Pam's joke. Unfortunately, Pam, we are out of time. Can we do this more often than once every 4 months? Because there's a lot. No, you're
a lot of knowledge from you.
Yeah, because we wanted to talk. We got to talk about you met with the outgoing Senate Ag Chair. Well, there's a lot to talk about. So we'll get back in touch with you in a few weeks. But it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and people can hear you every morning from 5 to 6 right here on WTMJ. Pam Jahnke is the fabulous farm babe. Always a pleasure, Pam. Thanks.
Keep spanning the state, kids.
We're going to do our best after this on WTMJ.
Don't count us out. Not
Lillard
yet.
scoops to the hoop, lays it in. The Bucks have taken a 1-point Lopez in transition, squeezes up a three, and he drilled it. The Bucks throwing fire.
This season is far from over.
To work with, drives inside and stuffs it down with the right hand. 59 points now for Giannis. He's tapping his chest as he goes the other way, saying, "This is my house.
We are the home of the Bucks.
This is my house."
WTMJ.
The holiday season is a magical time of year to visit Lake Geneva. Embark on an enchanting Santa cruise on the lake. Take in a parade of trees and marvel at the world's tallest glass tree, built before your very eyes. Enjoy holiday shopping in a historic downtown. Chill out with festive food and libations in an igloo under the stars. Or find adventure on a zipline, ski hill, or snow-covered nature trail. Make Lake Geneva your place for holiday fun this year. Check out visitlakegeneva.com today for all the festive details.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
In a recent study, over 1/3 of millionaires predicted their ability to feel financially secure in retirement is going to take a miracle. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe a plan, not a miracle, will help increase your retirement confidence. Our team of experts gets to work using leading-edge technology to build comprehensive plans covering investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. And Annex doesn't have products to push with hidden fees or commissions. There's too much of that already. Annex is a fee-only fiduciary. More planning, fewer miracles. Know the difference. AnnexWealth.com.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
I'm Kristen Bry. What a delight. What a delightful human being.
Pam is always fun to talk to, especially if you're in the interviewing business. If you get a good question, you just get out of the way. Yes, Pam. And a lot of times she'll tell us, and this is a little behind the curtain, she'll say, oh, I just did this, or I just, this is a big story.
Yeah.
And it's like,
We'll
all
have,
right.
yeah, because we'll have, someone will be in the news and we want a, farm expert. And she'll be like, I can talk about that, but I can also talk about this. And something that we totally have not on our radar.
Well, that's like, to me, as a guy who didn't grow up around farming, to the technology that she describes a lot of times, including this manure app, the crap app, it's just, it's wild. We're going to talk about body cams and why they may or may not stay in Madison. But ABC News and Local Headlines is next.
This is a special report from ABC News. Wray to resign. I'm Michelle Franzen. FBI Director Christopher Wray during an internal town hall telling employees he is resigning at the end of the current administration. Wray was appointed by Donald Trump during his first presidency and remained in the role when President Biden took office. President-elect Trump has vowed to fire Wray if he was elected. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has more.
While the FBI director still has 3 years left on his 10-year term, Christopher Wray's decision to step down upon Donald Trump's swearing in has been widely expected, especially given the president-elect's announcement that he's already chosen Wray's replacement. Wray's impending resignation is necessary for the Senate to consider Kash Patel, who's been working the halls on Capitol Hill to earn senators' support.
Sources with knowledge of Wray's remarks says he told employees he did not want to be a distraction to the important issues facing the country. Again, FBI Director Christopher Wray announcing he will resign in January. This is ABC News.
Sunny Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:31. I'm Jessica Ty. Just in, Madison police investigate a report of a student bringing a gun into a high school. Officers responded to Madison East High School Monday night after reports of a student with a gun in the parking lot during a basketball game. The caller said the student may have run into the building, so officers secured and swept the school but didn't find anything. Surveillance video shows the student in question had left the building. They say there was no immediate threat, no arrests. A merger falls apart between two grocery giants and turns into a lawsuit. Two judges halted the proposed merger of Kroger and Albertsons in separate court cases. Now Albertsons has pulled out and is suing Kroger. It's seeking billions of dollars in damages and a $600 million termination fee. Kroger is the parent company of Metro Market and Pick and Save. And the Penguins of the Pacific habitat is back open at the Milwaukee County Zoo. 15 Humboldt penguins returned to their newly renovated digs today. There's a larger pool and bigger viewing windows. That's cool. Crews also removed the handrail so visitors can get closer to the penguins. Humboldt penguins are considered a vulnerable species. Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Still a mixed bag this afternoon on Wall Street. The Dow is down a little less than a point, so that could change here quickly. It is up to 44,247. S&P 500 is up 53 points to 6,088. NASDAQ up almost 350 points to 20,036. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's go ahead right now and check out the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. We're looking really good. All of our crashes and disabled vehicles have cleared. No major incidents to let you know about. And here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, chance of snow showers, cloudy, windy, and chilly. We have a high of 30. And actually, Milwaukee kind of overdoing a little bit because I just checked and it's 31 right now. Wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. It is going to get cold, though. Prepare yourself. Tonight, clearing sky, cold and windy. We have a low of 2 tonight and wind chills below 0. Tomorrow, it's going to be very cold. Mostly sunny, windy, high of only 14 with wind chills below 0. Friday, we're going to warm things up, increasing clouds, high of 32. Saturday, high of 40, but we will see a wintry mix early on. Rain is likely. Sunday, mostly cloudy, high of 43. Yes, it is currently 31 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Jessica Ty. Signing Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Do you love the simplicity and enduring quality of Scandinavian design? Then the Fjords factory-sponsored sale at Ken Michaels Furniture is for you. Inspired by tradition and built to last, Fjords brings the best of modern Norwegian design to your home. Save 20% on these ergonomic recliners and sofas engineered with comfort in mind. Available with manual or power options. Stop in today and save 20% on Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown factory showroom. Get a better night's sleep and save money on a Milwaukee mattress. For over 70 years, our family has been making mattresses and selling them direct to your family. By cutting out distribution costs, you can save up to 50% and get a better night's sleep on a premium mattress. Go green with natural latex. Reduce tossing and turning at night by reducing pressure points on your body. This is one of our most popular mattresses. Stop in today and take a test rest at any of our Ken Michaels Furniture locations in Greenfield, Brookfield, or downtown.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time AccuNet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick AccuNet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
It's WTMJ's Brandon Snide for Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. The holiday season is here, and Wisconsin Harley-Davidson has you covered. Now through December 28th, when you purchase any new Harley-Davidson motorcycle, you'll receive a shopping spree. See sales associate for details, only valid on new bike purchases. December is full of shopping treats. Follow Wisconsin Harley-Davidson's Facebook page and Instagram for more details, and be sure to check out WISHD.com. Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, your destination dealer.
Is that what you would say that Ryan Borgort was doing? Chasing waterfalls?
He was
metaphoric?
chasing something, but it wasn't waterfalls.
I mean, isn't what the whole waterfalls is a metaphor, anyways?
Is it for tail?
Have you listened to the lyrics of the
I don't
the classic
listen to a lot of TLC. It
No?
was on. I'm sure it was on at many clubs that I was at in the day.
The waterfalls in that song, because the first verse is about a young man and him selling drugs, and then he ends up dying on the street. Like a gun. It's a really sad
All
song.
right. I don't know.
And then in the second verse, it's a guy who dies from AIDS.
Really?
So it's like chasing. I think it's like chasing the short game, like short-term gain, because it's gonna like hurt you in the
Pot
end.
of gold at the end. Of
Yeah.
the
So I
rainbow.
think. I feel like that actually really applies to this situation, because it's like he was chasing something that now is probably going to have him end up in jail.
Yes, and I
Or
always
prison.
think when I hear that song, I think of the character Michael Keaton played in the comedy The Other Guys, where he is the police sergeant who also works part-time at Bed Bath & Beyond, and he quotes that song nonstop. And every time somebody goes, "Why are you talking about TLC?" He goes, "What do you mean? I'm not."
Yeah, the other guys, Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
And The Rock.
I haven't seen The Rock is in that?
At the very beginning. It is one of the funniest movies, bar none.
All right.
It's very funny. But we have
Stamp of
serious
approval.
things to
I know.
talk about.
Well, is it?
It's not.
I don't want to make jokes about this, but
I do.
I'm. Do you think his conscience just got to him, and that's why he came? Because he came back.
He came back according
on his own accord,
Yes.
and he turned himself in immediately. So it's like technically, after a lot of missteps, he's done the right thing. But like,
sure,
couldn't you just like stay gone? If like, because you brought this up, how do you face not only your wife but your children? Like what you put your kids through, and then look them in the eye and be like, "Oh, sorry."
Right. I'm coming home. And the sheriff had the funniest line of the whole thing today. When he was at the press conference and he was talking about how this guy came home on his own accord, he goes, it's going to be a great Christmas now. We brought Dad home. I'm like, that is the farthest thing from what it's going to be, Sheriff. It is going to be the most awkward,
therapy.
horrible
Like,
Christmas.
there's going to be a big therapy bill for these kids.
I can't imagine, because I don't know how old his children are. So, like, if they're 1 or 2, you've already told them Dad's not coming home, whatever.
I mean, he's 45.
Okay.
So let's say, I don't know. But I'm probably an outlier how old I was when I first had my kid.
Yeah, 58's pretty old to have a baby. But do you just not tell him that he's back? I mean, if the kids are that young, do you just,
He's still dead.
He's still dead.
What?
Yeah, you can't see him anymore. You told us you were dead, so you have to go. They said he didn't, like you said, no police brought him back. No police met him at the airport. He came in, and his first court appearance is in about 20 minutes. 2:00 today. So it is.
It's ripe to poke fun at, but it's also, I mean, like you said, when you actually put real people behind it, like, it's really sad.
It's.
I cannot imagine like, oh, my husband wanted to get out of his life so badly, he faked his own death, and then be like, welcome home.
Yeah, but you're not going to welcome him home, right? If Mike did that, you'd forget it. And
I would probably end up in jail.
Yeah, see, I know if I faked my own death, first of all, the party probably wouldn't have ended yet. But secondly, Debbie would never, if I just pop back in and go, yeah, there was this girl in Croatia, and I was a little mixed up at the time. It was crazy. Oh, really? Well, get your tail back to Croatia.
Yeah,
go chase your waterfall over there.
Yes, exactly. All right, when we come back, we are going to talk to a criminal expert about the pros and cons of body cams and what's the holdup for Madison getting them. Stay with us on Spanning the State.
Hi, I'm Tony Drake. Are you sure you're getting the most out of Social Security benefits? At Drake & Associates, we know that maximizing your Social Security is critical for a secure retirement. With the right strategy, you can potentially increase your lifetime benefits and secure a better future. But navigating the rules and timing can be complex. Don't leave your benefits to chance. Text SS to 414-409-9982 today to schedule a complimentary consultation and receive a free retirement ready toolkit. That's SS to 414-409-9982. Drake & Associates. Plan smart, retire happy.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 3-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
The president of James Imaging Systems, Tom Tegeter.
Over 45 years ago, my father, James Tegeter, founded our company on a cornerstone of quality, integrity, and service as the best way of connecting with clients. As I reflect on 2024, I'm grateful for the James Imaging Systems team. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to always connecting with clients and helping them thrive. To each long-term client, I extend my gratitude and thanks for your confidence and support. We look forward to remaining connected to you as your local business technology partner. I also appreciate our new 2024 clients for connecting with us. Welcome to the James Imaging Systems family. Looking forward to 2025, I believe if each of us embraces the power of connection, our local community will prosper. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless America.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Celebrate the holidays with one of the most beloved traditions in Wisconsin as the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra presents Hometown Holiday Pops, December 14th through the 22nd. Come to the Bradley Symphony Center and enjoy a most festive atmosphere as vocalist and narrator Ali Mazzi teams up with conductor Ryan Taney and the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, the MSO Chorus, and the Milwaukee Handbell Ensemble for a jubilant mix of your cherished seasonal favorites, plus Yuletide carols and merry sing-alongs. Hometown Holiday Pops runs for 7 performances between December 14th and 22nd. Visit MSO.org for tickets and more details or call 414-291-7605.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And police body cams have become more common in the last, I don't know, would you say decade?
Yeah.
And
definitely.
so it kind of surprised me to find out that Madison was an outlier. I guess it's been the largest city in the Midwest that doesn't use body-worn cameras.
That does surprise me
There's not
as
like a
well.
budget line item for the police department to use it. There was a pilot project that was testing out the uses of devices, and since that pilot ended, the police chief, Sean Barnes, is now requesting that the city fund widespread use of body cameras for officers in the city. So joining us now is Cecilia Klingel, who's an associate professor of law at UW-Madison and an expert on criminal law and procedure, to discuss this issue. And so welcome to the show, Cecilia.
Thanks for having me.
So I guess, you live in Madison. It's not a secret. Madison's a very liberal city, and I would think it'd be one of the first cities to adopt body cams. And so do you know why there was such hesitancy, or why they're kind of behind the ball on this?
Well, yeah, I don't know that I think of body cams as particularly liberal or conservative.
Okay.
There are good arguments both in favor of them and against them.
What would I'm curious what an argument against them would be.
Sure. So there are a number of concerns. The first is privacy considerations. When police are summoned to a scene, there are often vulnerable people, individuals who may have been harmed. There could be children. People are often in vulnerable states. They're in their homes. They may or may not be dressed for the day. And they haven't always consented to have someone taking a video of them in whatever state they are found in. And so there are real concerns about making those vulnerable videos available to the broader public. There also are some concerns that police, if recorded, might not be as willing to exercise what I often call benign discretion, meaning not taking official, formal, or punitive action in cases where they might be able to more informally resolve something, but might not do so if they were afraid that they'd later be criticized for taking that action instead of something more formal.
Is cost ever a concern? How expensive are implementing body cams?
So my understanding is that it's not the cameras so much that are expensive, it's the data storage.
Oh.
Think about how much has to be saved and then archived, sometimes redacted. So it's really those administrative costs that tend to be prohibitive for many agencies.
So are you familiar with this pilot program in Madison? What criteria were they using to see if it was going to be worthwhile to continue the program?
So I am only minimally familiar with the details of the program, but what they did was they took a small section of the town, had some of the officers in that area wearing cameras for, I believe it was a 90-day period of time, and then tried to sort of measure across several metrics whether they noticed any changes in behavior measured by maybe sort of arrests, referrals for prosecution, things of that nature.
And so now, the pilot's over, and Chief Barnes did go in front of the city council asking to continue this. And so whether it's this specific pilot or in general, what are the arguments for having police departments make this investment?
So I think the main one is that whether or not they change officer behavior, and the studies to date are very inconclusive on that point. What it does seem to do is, at least to some degree, increase public confidence that there is an official record of what is happening, and that tends to boost confidence in the police's story about what happened. As it turns out, usually cameras become very popular with police agencies because they are able to produce video when there is a dispute about what happened, and frequently it actually ends up being protective of the policing agencies.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't think that's necessarily a story that gets told as often.
No, we
that it's
hear
more
a lot of
protective
stories.
for the police versus for the people that they're checking up on or pulling over, et cetera.
Yeah, the one finding that the most recent study does show is that the use of body cameras seems to decrease by at least about 20% public complaints about police. And one could speculate that part of that might be that you're just getting higher quality complaints in cases where it's justified rather than in cases where the record actually wouldn't support a public criticism.
You mentioned earlier when we were talking about the arguments against the body cams, the possibility of the footage being released to the public. What's the law on how accessible the videos need to be to the public?
So there are different policies both about when recordings are made, what is stored, and what can be released to whom. And those can vary at the agency level, and they can also vary at the state level. Different jurisdictions have different rules. Many states are still just beginning to develop law around this. And so in those cases, often police policy fills the gap, though even those policies need to be developed to decide who can request release, how much video can be released, and what kind of protections need to be made around that.
And but there's also something as far as public record requesters being on the hook for paying for it or something like that, right?
So that is possible, right? When an agency is asked to release records and there is a heavy administrative cost attached to that, records can be, you can charge for them. And so one of the issues here is how much administrative cost should be passed along to people requesting records. And should that be the same for everyone? Should the press have to pay the same amount that a private citizen would as a party to the case would have to pay?
So now, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but as far as following this and following Chief Barnes' request of the city council, do you think that is enough because they've been divided on this for a while, do you think this is something that they'll go forward with, knowing with how the pilot went?
So I would do best not to step out of my lane and predict the future, as you suggested. But certainly I hope this informs the conversation.
I learned a lot.
Along with good, and the new data, too, that are constantly emerging as more and more agencies are adopting these cameras will also help us make wise decisions about when cameras should be used and when footage should be released to the public.
All right. Well, Cecilia Klingel, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for the invitation.
Very informative.
Yes.
She is Associate Professor of Law at UW-Madison and an expert on criminal law and procedure. I did not know a lot of that stuff.
I didn't either, but it didn't surprise me when she said that it protects the police.
That doesn't surprise me.
That doesn't surprise me. It does. So that doesn't, and it also doesn't surprise me that it increases the public's confidence because, like she said, if you're in an altercation with the police and you are in the right, you know there's footage.
Mm-hmm.
And it also,
it just eliminates he said, she said. Maybe not eliminates because there's always some probably more nuance.
Sure.
But to me, it kind of seems like I understand the cost as far as the administration because that's where this is maybe not a well-known fact. That's where Amazon makes most of their money is cloud services.
Is that right?
Yeah, even more so than all the stuff that you're buying ahead of Christmas and on Cyber Monday. Because they have huge servers as far as how much money they make for people storing their data. And so that's a big business, and it is very expensive to store data. And, if you're going to have it, you have to legally hold it for as long as,
I don't know if it's going to be like income taxes where 7 years they can delete, the footage older than that, or how that's going to work. Maybe because there's different statutes of limitations for different things, and what are you going to bring back? But I think it's a good idea. I would feel, as a police officer, I would feel more confident that, especially if I'm a good police officer and, I got nothing to hide, so you're going to see it. And as somebody who got stopped, if I see that camera is on, I'm going to know, well, this is if I do what I'm supposed to do and the cop does what they're supposed to do, this is going to be a nice, smooth operation here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was super interesting. Again, that was Cecilia Klingel from UW-Madison talking about the debate over whether or not Madison will adopt body-worn cameras in their police department. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to spin around the state.
Yay.
We're already halfway through the show today.
Already?
Already.
All right.
The season of giving continues. Join WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and our WTMJ Street Team on Thursday, December 19th from noon to 2 p.m. at Century Foods in Delafield.
To participate in Capco's Kids to Kids toy drive, bring a new unwrapped gift to donate. Monetary donations are also accepted.
So stop by and say hello to Steve Scafidi and the WTMJ Street Team at the Century Foods in Delafield on Thursday, December 19th.
It's the Capco Kids to Kids toy drive here on WTMJ.
Hi, Monica.
This is our WOW engagement ring for Christmas.
Wow.
Wow.
It features a 1-carat created diamond center stone.
Completely surrounded by a halo of little created diamonds that makes it look huge.
And each of those 3 bands is covered in diamonds.
I've never seen anything like it.
2 carats total weight.
There's no way this is less than $5,000.
No, we're selling these for half that much.
$24.98? I need to lie down and put a cool rag on my forehead.
And you can choose a 1-carat round, oval, or radiant diamond as your center stone.
Kessler's is the coolest store in the world.
But there's more. Look at this.
It's a matching pendant. Take that rag off your head and get up, Rick. You have to see this.
How big is that?
It's a 1.5-carat created diamond, surrounded by the same halo of little created diamonds. 2 1/3 carats total weight.
This tag says it's just $1,998.
See it for yourself at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Discover the advanced pressure relieving power of a Tempur-Pedic mattress from Steinhafels. Queen Tempur-Pedics start at $52 per month with Steinhafels 60-month financing. Plus, get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com.
By now, you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semper Fi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Seems like gift season kind of snuck up on us, but Fleet Farm's ready to help. For the griller on your list, the Pit Boss Sportsman 500 pellet grill is now $249.99. For the pizza lover, the Biaggia pizza oven is just $79.99. Plus, Milwaukee deal days are happening all week long. So save on the hottest Milwaukee tools, like the N12 2-tool combo kit for just $99. Stop in soon and wrap up your gift list at Fleet Farm, home of the best prices, guaranteed.
This holiday season, give the gift of a delicious experience to your family, colleagues, and clients with Milwaukee Food and City Tours. Board a bus and let our tour guides show you some of Santa's favorites on our Christmas Bakery Bus Tour. It's an action-packed 3-hour tour complete with stops at 5 bakeries in your choice of Milwaukee or Chicago. Whether they've been naughty or nice, everyone walks away with cookies and memories together. Book your Christmas Bakery Bus Tour for your office or family online at MilwaukeeFoodTours.com.
The holiday shopping season is here. WTMJ's John Merck here. I've got a great idea for you. Gift cards from the historic Fox and Hounds, voted the best supper club in the area, make perfect holiday gifts. I was just talking to a coworker today who was at the Fox and Hounds last week, said it was fantastic. It was spectacular. And if you buy a $100 gift card, you get a $20 gift card free. Buy $250, get $50 free. Buy $500, get $125 free. With the buy one dinner, get one free offer, when you buy one gift card, it's like getting a second gift card for free. So gift cards for your loyal employees and clients make wonderful holiday gifts, and your company will save hundreds of dollars. Order online at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Book your company party at the Fox and Hounds in December or January. Half of your employees' dinners are free. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. It is gorgeous at the holidays. The holiday lights and decorations are absolutely magical. Enjoy your free dinner tonight at Fox and Hounds.
With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Kraus Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
201, it's 29 degrees. Tonight, a clearing sky, cold and windy with a low of 2 and a wind chill of below 22 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Tiff Bua. Returning home after faking his death and fleeing the country, Ryan Borgward of Watertown is sitting in the Green Lake County Jail awaiting his first court appearance. He disappeared in August after a trip to Green Lake, and his kayak was later found overturned. Borgward faked his death and then fled to Eastern Europe in October. Green Lake Sheriff Mark Podol.
He's cooperated with us, got on an airplane, and landed in the United States.
Was he extradited?
No. No, he came back on his own.
The sheriff's office is recommending charges of obstruction and payment of restitution. Corporate executives face increased threats after the shooting death of a health insurance company chief in New York. ABC's Chuck Sievertson.
Since the top United Healthcare officer's killing, corporate heads potentially face harassment and violence, says a law enforcement bulletin gotten by ABC News. It says many social media users have urged more killings of company officials, some posting hit lists. The bulletin includes photos of a banner draped on a highway overpass that includes the words deny, defend, depose, the same words police said were found on shell casings at the scene of Brian Thompson's murder.
Luigi Mangione is charged with second-degree murder in that case. A police-involved shooting leaves one person dead and 2 others hurt in Oshkosh. Officers arrived at the home near 10th and Iowa just after 11 p.m. last night. They found a person stabbed outside and a suspect inside armed with a knife. Police say the suspect failed to drop his weapon, so an officer shot him. Then police found a second stabbing victim in the house. The suspect died at the local hospital. The conditions of the stabbing victims have not been released. The current FBI director says he will leave the Bureau next month.
Christopher Wray tells Bureau employees he's given it weeks of careful thought and decided the right thing for the FBI is for him to leave when the current administration ends. Over a week ago, President-elect Trump announced he selected former federal prosecutor, congressional staffer, and Pentagon aide Kash Patel to run the Bureau. But the Senate can't consider the fierce Trump loyalist unless there's a vacancy. And while Wray still has 3 years left on his current term, he's now publicly acknowledging the president who appointed him 7 years ago doesn't want to keep him around. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Universities of Wisconsin President Jay Rothman says he encourages students to protest if they feel passionate about an issue.
We're going to support that, and we're going to continue to promote civil dialogue, but those protests can't involve illegal activities, and once they do, we have to enforce the rule of law.
Rothman's comments come after nearly 20 people were arrested for protesting a UW Board of Regents meeting earlier this month. Last spring, demonstrators clashed with police at UW-Madison, and there was an encampment at UW-Milwaukee. Rothman joined Wisconsin's Morning News today after being named a Standout of the Year, or a SOTY. To learn more, text STANDOUT, STANDOUT, all one word, to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. In Milwaukee,
3, 2, 1.
the renovated habitat for the Humboldt penguins is officially open at the Milwaukee County Zoo. Milwaukee County Board Chairman Marcelia Nicholson.
It's fitting that the penguins are first to greet us here at the zoo. Their new home is a celebration of conservation, education, and community.
Construction on the $5 million project kicked off in March. The zoo is home to 15 Humboldt penguins who are considered a vulnerable species. Time for news about your money. Here's your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. A mixed day on the boards today. The Dow is down 21 points to 44,226, but your S&P 500 is up 53 points to 6,088, and the NASDAQ is also up 353 points to 20,040. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sighting Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:05.
This report sponsored by Fox World Travel. Go, Fox, go.
Are the changing seasons making you crave a getaway? Let Fox World Travel help you plan for the perfect all-inclusive resort or cruise vacation to escape the cold. We've got special deals with Apple Vacations, Delta Vacations, Royal Caribbean, Princess Cruises, Celebrity Cruises, and more. Whether you prefer to book online or with a travel advisor, Fox World Travel has your back. Visit foxworldtravel.com to book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO today. That's 866-GO-FOX-GO today.
When is the last time you paid less but got more in return? It happens every day if you or a loved one has Medicare Advantage. $0 copays and an average of $2,500 less out of pocket annually, but more benefits like dental, hearing, and vision. More prevention and screenings to keep people healthy. More care for less money. No wonder 33 million seniors choose Medicare Advantage. Visit MedicareAdvantageMajority.org to learn more. Paid for by Medicare Advantage Majority.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com. or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Whether you get pulled over or get into a crash, drinking and driving will change your whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Gift cards from the amazing Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford make great holiday gifts, as everyone loves a delicious breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Buy a $100 gift card and get a $20 gift card free. It's easy. Order online at mineshaft.restaurant.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks advanced to the semifinals of the NBA's in-season tournament with Tuesday night's win over the Magic. Doc Rivers' Bucks 2 wins are away from winning the Emirates Cup.
Our goal is not just to get to Vegas. We want to win this thing, so we got 2 more games left. But it's good to get there. You got to get there first, and we've done that.
The Bucks will take the court in Vegas on Saturday against an opponent that is yet to be determined. And the Packers are 3-point favorites for Sunday night's game against the Seahawks in Seattle. The Packers begin the practice week today. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Just one incident to report. I-94 South, about a quarter mile beyond County C. The right shoulder is blocked by a disabled vehicle, but it is out of traffic, so it's not in the way.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Volkswagen. Visit hallvw.com.
Help fellow commuters. Report accidents and slowdowns to the Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line. 414-238-9329. Visit Hall Volkswagen during Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight. A clearing sky, but cold and windy with a low of just 2. Your wind chill down to below 22 degrees. For your Thursday, sunny, windy, and very cold with a high only of 14, with a wind chill down to below 20. For your Friday, increasing clouds, a high of 32. For your Saturday, an early wintry mix and rain likely, a high of 40. And for Sunday, mostly cloudy, a high of 43. Right now in Madison, it's 22. In Waukesha, it's 24. In Green Bay, it's 26. In Milwaukee, it's cloudy and 29 degrees. I'm Tiff Pua. Sighting Unlimited WTMJ News Time is coming up on 2:09.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Don't forget, if you miss anything that we do during Spinning the State, you can always text SPIN to 855-616-1620, and you can go to our page on WTMJ.com and hear the podcast every day. Let's spin
Plug
the wheel.
that podcast.
Plug that podcast.
If you missed anything from the first hour, hear about body cams.
Yeah, what are you doing? You should be listening to the first hour's podcast now, then come back at the end and listen to this hour's podcast.
Download, subscribe.
But if you are listening live, we love you, and we're glad you're here, and we'll spin the wheel just for you.
Milwaukee.
All right. We've all heard of Netflix and chill, correct?
I mean, I have. I don't know if everyone listening right now has, but let's assume they have.
Listen, I'm as old as the demographic. I've heard of it, and I normally don't even chill. But some of us, maybe this is more your speed. A Hallmark holiday movie. That's the one. You come home and you're sitting around. You watch the holiday hits on Hallmark Channel. Well, the plots of these shockingly similar, saccharinely sweet cinematic offerings. That was a good one. But these movies are not great, but they are a holiday fixture. The Journal-Sentinel reports that this year there is a brand new Hallmark Channel movie called A 90s Christmas, and it is set in Milwaukee.
Nice.
Yes. Finally, a little Midwestern love from the Hallmark Channel. What can you expect from this masterpiece? Well, Kristen, this may surprise you, but the Hallmark Channel describes the film this way. The film begins as lawyer Lucy Miller is celebrating a promotion alone on Christmas Eve, and a rideshare transports her back to 1999. Reliving that holiday with her mom, sister, and best friend, not to mention her high school crush. Lucy gets a second chance to understand where her relationships went wrong. Will this magical journey help her rewrite her future or leave her destined to be alone? Oh my, that is a conundrum, isn't it? You can watch A 90s Christmas tonight on Hallmark at 5 o'clock and then go to Hallmark Channel's website to find out when else it will be airing, because this smells like repeat viewership to me. You going to check this out?
It's just, they're all just the same.
Yes.
We watched one the other week with Lindsay Lohan.
Okay.
I think we started two. There was another one that she's Lindsay Lohan doing a lot of Hallmark Christmas movies, or of the kin like that.
She is, and Lacey Chabert, one of the
watched
mean
that
girls.
one.
Yeah, she's doing a lot
with
of these.
For Tim from Schitt's Creek.
Yes,
is in it, and his hair's longer, and because he's like basically like an icicle man that comes to life.
Yes, the Hot Frosty, I think is the name of it.
Yep, we watched it the other night. I was like, this is dumb.
Frosty. Yeah, it's always a successful woman goes back to her small town and
every time
falls in love with the roguish boy that she loved back then. And you know what that roguish boy likes to do? Spin a wheel.
Lake Hallie.
All right. So we've talked about this story and the developing story around it basically since the show started. Yeah. So we've talked about the future of the Chippewa Falls Hospital that was abruptly closed this spring by Hospital Sisters Health System, or HSHS. The hospital now may have a second life. So a report on WPR said a regional health cooperative in the Chippewa Valley region is working to reopen the hospital. The Chippewa Valley Health Cooperative signed a letter of intent with HSHS to purchase and reopen St. Joseph's Hospital in Chippewa Falls. The nonprofit made the announcement Monday at a public meeting. Hospital Sisters Health Systems, HSHS, closed the hospital 2 months after announcing they would be leaving Western Wisconsin. The quick shutdown left hundreds of people looking for new healthcare providers and new jobs. The nonprofit group is working to build a new hospital in Lake Hallie, a Chippewa County community between Eau Claire and Chippewa Falls. The hospital won't be available until at least 2027. It's kind of a long time.
Stay healthy.
I'm going to say when you need access to health care. The cooperative will begin evaluating whether reopening the facility is financially possible early next year and plans to make a final decision in April. The facility would include an emergency department, labor and delivery, and surgical services.
Very good. Well, let's hope they get that done.
Fingers crossed for them.
Yeah, 2027 is a long time to wait for a hospital.
Yes.
Lacrosse.
I know you are firmly in the quick trip camp, Kristen. You know my allegiance lies elsewhere. But do you love Quick Trip enough to wear it to your holiday gatherings or give it as a gift?
I mean, like, depends, I guess, how expensive it is. What's the merch? What's the
Well,
merch?
here we go.
Pitch it.
The convenience store and gas station dropped its newest line of merch just in time for your holiday shopping. According to the Journal Sentinel, Quick Trip aficionados can now show up for this year's holiday parties in a See You Next Time ugly Christmas sweater or keep warm with a See You Next Time scarf or fuzzy socks. Also new to the website are simple cable knit beanies and a trapper hat. And if maybe the clothing isn't your thing and you want to give these gifts to your friends and loved ones, the website also offers a Quick Trip snow globe, a studded tumbler, and a buffalo plaid leather patch blanket. All that's a Quick Trip. They announced the new round of holiday merchandise on social media in November. Fans quickly took to social media to approve of all the new merch, and you can always check it out at quicktripmerch.com.
What would our merch look like?
I don't know. I would wear.
Well, what's our tagline? Like a merch with like a big wheel on it,
a spinning wheel
with just different city names, some Wisconsin city names on it.
I like that.
All right.
We could start our own merch line. Spinning the state. You can. Yeah. Hey, listen. If you have a suggestion,
you have merch ideas for us.
Yeah,
855-616-1620, so we can just steal them and
right.
make money off of them.
Well, we'll send you. If we use your idea, we'll send you that piece of merch.
Yes,
that's
not any money, but we will send you the merch.
There will be no money. But upon your deathbed, you will receive total consciousness.
We'll give
and
you
a
credit.
Spinning the State coffee mug. All right, you can always text SPIN to 855-616-1620. When we come back, vaccine hesitancy. Are you experiencing it? Do you know someone who is? We'll talk about that after this on Spanning the State.
Mark your calendars for another giveaway on Spanning the State. Tune in Tuesday and Thursday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. for WTMJ's holiday promotion. Sponsored by the Original Botanas, the best Mexican restaurant in Milwaukee. Listen for your cue to call for a chance to win a Botanas $50 gift card. And remember to check out Botanas for your next Taco Tuesday, Tequila Thursday, or just any day for good food and drinks.
Hola, Wisconsin tequila lovers. It is I, Brian Noonan, here for El Bandito Yankee Tequila. Get ready to break out the Bandito with El Bandito Yankee, the official tequila of game day, or maybe just a hump day shooter. 100% Blue Weber agave, award-winning, all-natural, additive-free, and the smoothest tequila Milwaukee, Madison, and Titletown have ever tasted. You can get yours today at great spots like La Pina on 3rd Street or your favorite local store. And remember, my friends, you always win with the undefeated flavor of El Bandito Yankee Tequila. For events, recipes, and places for purchase, go to elbanditoyankee.com. Muy bueno.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
This holiday season, the Salvation Army needs your help. Bell ringers are working hard, and our service depends on generous donations like yours. Every dollar donated helps us provide meals, shelter, and emergency support to families in crisis, not just at Christmas, but all year long. From immediate need to long-term care, your donation can create lasting change in our communities. Join us in making a difference. Volunteer as a bell ringer or donate today. Visit salvationarmywi.org to learn how you can help.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I'm Kristen Bry. And there was a report back in October from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services and the CDC that showed that Wisconsin families are behind other states in protecting children from vaccine-preventable diseases. So it was basically comparing the vaccination rates of Wisconsin kindergartners for the 2023-24 school year to the same data for other states. And it revealed that Wisconsin children are behind on polio, diphtheria, tetanus, measles, mumps, like not great. For example, it was, I think, only 84.8% of Wisconsin kindergartners were up to date on their MMR vaccine compared to 92.7% nationally.
Wow.
So with that,
So do we? Aren't vaccines required to get in to go to public schools?
Yes, but not every kid goes to public schools.
That's true. I thought it was all schools, but we'll find out.
And so, with a new administration poised to take power, obviously, in January, a change in policy regarding vaccines may also be on the way. This is kind of as we were talking about raw milk as well. So joining us now is Dominique Broussard, who's a professor and chair in the Department of Life Sciences Communication at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and is an expert on trust in science and public understanding of science. Welcome to the show, Dominique.
Well, thanks for having me.
So how would you define vaccine hesitancy, and what do you attribute the rise of it to?
Yeah, that's a great question because different people use different definition for a concept that is a little vague. And the way we describe it in my field, which is risk communication, is really people that are not against vaccine per se, but may actually pose and really wonder if they should go forward or not, depending on the context, the timeline, and who they're talking to.
Your title is fascinating to me. Trust in science and public understanding of science, which seems to be at an all-time low. And I don't understand that because the science tells us, hey, look, polio's almost gone. Nobody's getting the mumps or the measles or things like that. But yet we still have trouble. What has led the public to be so distrustful or questioning about science, which is really fact-based?
Yeah, and this is also something that I think we need to be careful about when we reach broad conclusions, because at the end of the day, if you compare science and institution with other institutions in the United States, science actually more trusted than most institutions. So what's going on right now with the American public at large, I think, is like a decline in institutional trust, a decline on a federal agency to actually take care of the American public and so on. And this is largely due, we think, to COVID-19 and the very complex patterns of behavior that people were supposed to take to protect themselves at the local level, and also all the hardship that potentially led them, to question if those were the right decisions. But I'd like to actually address very quick something that you said in the introduction of the show, where you were talking about the numbers, and the decline in Wisconsin compared to other states. Something that is true is actually you do have to vaccinate your kid to go to public schools. But what's different between states is like the reason why you can be exempt from doing so varies. So in Wisconsin, you have 3 regions. You can have reasons, you can have, exemption by philosophical beliefs, personal beliefs, or religious beliefs, or medical reasons. And in a lot of states, only medical reasons will lead the school to accept that your kid is not vaccinated. So that's where you see a lot of those changes in the personal belief aspect of it.
Now, Dominique, that's not a Wisconsin accent that I'm listening to right now. And so, and so obviously, I'm assuming you're French. And so is in your field, is this a uniquely American phenomenon right now as far as this increased either misinformation or are people not trusting science, or is this something that is other countries are going through this as well?
Yeah, this is a great point. And by the way, I just want to clarify for the audience, I'm actually an American citizen with a very strong accent.
Perfect.
I do still have the French accent, but I've lived in the United States way longer than I ever lived in France. I know
it's a beautiful language. It's a beautiful accent, but it sticks out in Wisconsin, I imagine.
My students are very confused. Well, that actually, honestly, like what's interesting, and I think it's something to keep in mind, I just come back from Europe a few weeks ago where we were talking about the trust in science with the European Union and a concern around the globe of potentially decreasing trust in science. And the overarching conclusion when we look at all the numbers is like it's overall a decline in institutional trust. It's not particularly science. So it's also trust in religious leaders, medical leaders, you name it. It's like overall communities that I feel that they're not being taken care of. And also there's a distinction between trust at the local level versus state or the federal level. So the closer you are to home, the more people may tend to trust your institution, and maybe because they know personally the people that are, in the city council and so on and so forth. So I think, yes, this is something that we see across the globe. and most likely due to the pandemic. And we hope that, like the trust will rise again once people realize that at the end of the day, government agencies want the best for the American public.
Now, what advice would you give if you were going to give advice to the new administration as far as policy or just messaging about vaccines going forward?
Well, the thing is that I think it's very important to remember that, like the efficacy of vaccine to actually prevent terrible disease from happening is being well established. We hardly have any cases of polio in the United States, right?
Right.
However, there's always new vaccines that come to play that need to be carefully vetted to make sure that they abide by safety standards, that there are very serious clinical trials. And I think the message from the government agency, in this case the CDC and so on, towards the American public, like everything is done to make sure that those vaccines, number one, are important, and number two, are safe.
My last question, so do you have any advice on how to, like someone like me or Brian, could have productive conversations with another person who is either vaccine hesitant, weary about vaccines? Like, how do you have those conversations?
Well, I would say that first of all, being hesitant is actually, something that all human beings that are intelligent do, right? You don't just take for granted everything in the world without being able to actually have evidence that shows that you're going the right way. So I would say, first of all, there's a lot of reasons why people are hesitant. Some people distrust big pharma. They think that the industry is making money. Other people distrust the government. Other people basically want to make sure that their kids do not have too much stuff in their blood, right? And we have a lot of vaccine. So the reasons are very different. So I think, first of all, is understanding people's concerns. And, concerns are concerns. They should be, listened to and actually addressed with evidence that actually can address those concerns. And I would... myself, since I'm not a medical doctor, I'm a social scientist, I would say, trust your doctor, talk to your doctor. Your doctor will answer any question you will have and will not hide anything, obviously, because the doctor, what they want is for their patients to be safe.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for spending
Thanks,
time with us
Dominique.
today. It's super interesting.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Dominique Brossard is a professor at the Department of Life Sciences Communication at the University of Madison, or Wisconsin-Madison. And there you go.
That French accent is easy to listen to.
Very easy to listen to.
I was like, oh, all right.
All right,
Oui,
we'll have
oui.
more after this on Spanning the State.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
In the original Pirates of the Caribbean, give me the two separate definitions of the word parlay. That's a trivia question I had to answer today to win a little gift card. But if you know that answer, this might be the day to test your trivia acumen tonight at WTMJ's Trivia Showdown, presented by Quizmaster Trivia in support of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive. Oh, man, guess who's going to be there? Jeff Sherman, Sandy Max, Jessica Ty. They're going to host the competition at North Pillar Brewing in Waukesha. It starts at 7 o'clock. If you can't make it, don't panic. You can go still help Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive with a monetary donation. Just text Capco, that's Capco with a K, to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. Or go to WTMJ.com, click on the banner, scroll down till you see Kristen and my beautiful faces. Well, Kristen's, and then it looks like Shrek in a floral shirt is standing next to her. Click on that, and then, oh my goodness, you can donate some money on behalf of this show. Then do yourself a favor, grab an unused and unwrapped toy and some of your favorite friends. It is WTMJ's Trivia Showdown, presented by Quizmaster Trivia in support of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive tonight, December 11th, Wednesday, North Pillar Brewing, Waukesha.
The holiday season is a magical time of year to visit Lake Geneva. Embark on an enchanting Santa cruise on the lake. Take in a parade of trees and marvel at the world's tallest glass tree, built before your very eyes. Enjoy holiday shopping in a historic downtown. Chill out with festive food and libations in an igloo under the stars. Or find adventure on a zipline, ski hill, or snow-covered nature trail. Make Lake Geneva your place for holiday fun this year. Check out visitlakegeneva.com today for all the festive details.
During your career, investments piled up. From 401ks to brokerage accounts, it turned into quite a collection. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe every portfolio tells a story. We've analyzed thousands. Some reflect diligence and fortitude. Others, a mishmash of overlapping investments. When Annex reviews a portfolio, we spot what works, what might not, and then provide unbiased suggestions. Every portfolio tells a story. Let's work on yours. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary. That's our story. Head to AnnexWealth.com.
Here's a headline.
What?
I had totally forgot about this. So this is Wausau Daily Herald. As Stephen Avery, there's a name.
Wow.
Yeah. Awaits a decision on his latest appeal. Judge and attorneys hold status hearing. I didn't even know that he was still appealing anything.
Yeah, how many times does this guy get a trial? I guess you get a trial as long as there's some grounds for appeal.
Ongoing appeal efforts. I actually had, I've never watched it.
I watched the first one. I thought it was great, but then I realized it's a documentary and they could skew it however they want.
Of course, we're talking about making a murderer. But yeah, I never actually watched it.
I don't think I watched all the second one. I was like, this is the same rehash.
It's infuriating.
They're all infuriating.
Yeah. All right. ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. During an internal town hall, FBI Director Christopher Wray announcing to employees he is resigning at the end of the current administration. Wray, who was Donald Trump's pick when he first took office, was serving a 10-year term. Trump later vowed to fire Wray, blaming his agency for the investigations that included the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case. Last week, the president-elect chose Kash Patel as his nominee for FBI Director. ABC's Mary Bruce on Capitol Hill caught up with Patel meeting with senators today.
Mr. Patel, Christopher Wray just announced he's resigning. What's your reaction?
We look forward to a very smooth transition, and I'll be ready to go on day.
New York City police say the gun recovered when Luigi Mangione was taken into custody in Pennsylvania this week matches the shell casings found at the crime scene in Manhattan. Mangione is challenging extradition to New York. In Southern California, Santa Ana winds expected to ease a bit today as crews battle a wildfire in Malibu. More than 4,000 acres charged so far. This is ABC News.
Citing in limited WTMJ News Time is 2:31. I'm Tiff Pua. Madison police continue investigating a report of a student bringing a gun into a high school. Officers responded to Madison East High School Monday night after reports of a student with a gun in the parking lot during a basketball game. The caller said the student may have run into the building, so officers secured and swept the school, but didn't find anything. Surveillance video shows that the student in question had left the building. So police say there is no immediate threat, but no arrests yet have been made. A merger falls apart between two grocery giants and turns into a lawsuit. Two judges halted the proposed merger of Kroger and Albertsons in separate court cases. Now Albertsons is pulled out and is suing Kroger. It's seeking billions of dollars in damages and a $600 million termination fee. Kroger is the parent company of Metro Market and Pick 'n Save. President-elect Donald Trump announced Tuesday night that he selected Ron Johnson to serve as U.S. ambassador to Mexico, but it's not Wisconsin's U.S. Senator Ron Johnson. In a statement, the Ron Johnson chosen was previously the U.S. ambassador to El Salvador during the Trump administration's first term and served as the Central Intelligence Agency and in the U.S. Army. The announcement led to some confusion, with some news outlets reporting that Trump had picked Wisconsin's Ron Johnson. He is, of course, the third-term U.S. senator from our state. Time for news about your money. Here's your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Still a mixed bag on the boards today. Your Dow is down 49 points to 44,198, but the S&P 500 is up 53 points to 6,088, and the Nasdaq is up 365 points to 20,052. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Just one incident to report. I-94 south, about a quarter mile from County C. The right shoulder is blocked with a disabled vehicle. It is out of the way, but the bigger story right now are the slowdowns, particularly on 94 westbound, heading out of the city of Milwaukee due to the snow. So you have your regular and kind of heavy slowdowns around the ballpark, and then further out as you head toward Miller Parkway, or the State Fair Park. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, clearing sky with cloud and cold. A low of 2 degrees with your wind chill down to 22 below. Your Thursday, mostly sunny, windy, and very cold with just a high of 14 with your wind chill down to 20 below. For your Friday, increasing clouds with a high of 32. Saturday has an early wintry mix with rain likely a high of 40. And for Sunday, mostly cloudy, a high of 43. Right now in Racine, it's 29 degrees. In Oshkosh, it's 24. And in Milwaukee, it's cloudy and 29 degrees. I'm Tiff Bua. Sighting Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:34.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano with the perfect holiday gift, a new garage door. Lifetime Door Company transformed the look of my family's home with a beautiful made-in-America garage door. You never realize how much your home's curb appeal depends on that huge space. Lifetime Door Company's experts help you choose the right door to fit your style. And they have the service team you expect from a local family-owned business. Here's the holiday deal. Tell them Vinny sent you. They'll knock 5% off the total purchase on all service and installation. LifetimeDoor.net.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered. Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
If fashion is your thing, eBay is it. eBay's where I find all my favorites, from handbags to iconic streetwear, all authenticated. For real. This time, a little Supreme, some Gucci. I even have that vintage Prada on my watch list. That's why eBay's my go-to for all my go-tos. Yeah, eBay, the place for new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion. eBay, things people love.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan, and boy, time sure flies when you're offering Wisconsinites and tourists opportunities to enjoy nature. The Wisconsin State Park System is celebrating a big milestone in 2025. It is turning 125 years old. Yes, it's 125 years since the opening of the first state park in northwestern Wisconsin. That is Interstate State Park. The Wisconsin DNR is wasting no time celebrating the state park's birthday, with the first event scheduled scheduled for January 1st. So what has the DNR planned? Missy Van Ladent is the Recreation Partnership Section Chief for the DNR, and she joins us now to share the details. Missy, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So what is the history of the state parks in Wisconsin?
You know, we have a pretty rich history of the state parks, and, you know, it follows a lot of our national history as well. And, you know, really neat that our first park, like you said, was Interstate Park, established in 1900. And now we have 50 state parks, but our program actually manages many state forests, recreation areas, and thousands of miles of linear trail as well. So we're actually celebrating the full state park system in 2025. And, you know, with the beginning years of the CCC and war era development and post-war development, we've got an incredible rich history of not only bringing new properties and state lands online, but really developing, especially the infrastructure, like the buildings and the bridges and the roadways and the trails in the 60s and 70s. And we're really happy and excited to celebrate it in 2025 and looking forward to the next 125 years.
So what can you tell us about the first state park, Interstate State Park? Where, I got to be honest, I don't know where it is.
Yeah, it's in west central Wisconsin.
Okay.
So it's right near St. Croix Falls.
Okay.
Just north there of the Hudson area. And it was established, and the discussions first happened for that park in the 1800s. And it was established actually on September 20th, 1900. And so in 2025, that's kind of our big anniversary celebration will be on September 20th, 2025. And the next couple of parks beyond Interstate were Devil's Lake and Dells of the Wisconsin River. And so those happened in 1903 and 1905. But Interstate is a great park. It's across the river, the St. Croix River, from Minnesota's Interstate Park, and they're both named the same.
Oh.
Lots of fun things to do there. Yeah, it's
Is
it
it thus the
Western
interstate
terminus.
because they're like looking at each other on different sides of the state?
You know, that's a good question. I'm not sure, but there is a bridge that connects not necessarily the two parks, but the two communities right by there. And they do some programming collaboratively. And then there's a lot of different St. Croix River tours, either, you know, larger boat cruise type things and kayak tours where you can go to both properties on either side of the river. So it's a really neat property. It's the western terminus of the Ice Age Trail, the National Scenic Ice Age Trail. Lots of camping, hiking, shelter opportunities, and obviously a lot of the CCC development took place at that property too, to kind of bring the facilities and infrastructure to that property in the 20s, 30s, 40s.
Now, you said there's going to be a big celebration there in September, but we don't have to wait till September to start doing things. The first hiker activity is January 1st, right?
It is, and we actually have 23 properties online right now for doing first day hikes. And so you can find those on our events calendar at dnr.wi.gov and just search events. But we're doing a signature event at Mirror Lake State Park where we will officially kick off 125 years. So we'll have a few speakers and some guided hikes, but folks can go onto that events calendar and participate in a first day hike across the state. We're actually hoping to get to 25, so we might bring a few more properties online before the end of the year. But it's a great way to start the year off right. If you've got those New Year's resolutions or you just want to get outside and be active on January 1st, you can find those activities all across the state.
So if you're more of a summer hiker like me, I'm not necessarily trying to go out January. And I also don't do the dip.
No,
in the water,
plunge?
the polar
No.
plunge. Yeah.
Pass.
So what are the events for the summer when it's very warm out again?
Yeah, so we have events all throughout the year for the anniversary. In many cases, we're boosting and having more events than we normally would. There's going to be a lot of things, I would say, things really pick up in April, where we've got our Work Play Earth Day events, which those are opportunities to both volunteer and enjoy state parks for Earth Day and Arbor Day. We're going to be doing some tree planting activities. We also have, this will be our, I think, third year of partnering with Michigan DNR to do a Happy Little Trees 5K run, which is also a partnership with Bob Ross Inc. So you can do your own 5K out at any of our properties during that week between Earth Day and Arbor Day. So it's kind of a virtual 5K. And then from there, we get into Free Fun Weekend, which is the first full weekend in June. So there'll be a ton of activities out at our properties, at nearly all of the properties, primarily this year focused on new how-to events. So that's coming up in June. We also will be having, I should back up to May, is our Mental Health Awareness Month. So you'll be seeing some events and activities and programs around mental health in the outdoors. And then we have Invasive Species Awareness Days in June. And then July is our Universal Recreation Focus. So we have a really neat complement of all-terrain wheelchairs, adaptive kayaks, and other universal equipment that we'll be showcasing in the month of July. So we have tons of different activities, and that's in addition to several thousand programs that our statewide naturalists put on throughout the year at all of our properties during the summer.
It is amazing. There's this I learned today. I did not know this, but as far as funding, what makes Wisconsin's state park system unique?
Yeah, we're one of the only systems in the nation that is completely self-funded. So we rely completely on our admission passes, trail passes, and camping revenue to fund the entirety of the system. And that includes all of the maintenance and operations of our properties, as well as salaries for staff, all of our supplies, equipment, things like that. So if you haven't already, get out and get your new 12-month admission pass, because it helps support the state parks that you love to go to.
So that's got to be an unbelievable amount of money. About how many people are buying these passes? How many visitors? How much are you generating?
That's a really good question. So I don't have those numbers right in front of me. I can tell you in 2023, we had about 20 million visits. And so that we estimate, that's not everyone buying a pass. Though.
Sure.
So not every one of those folks buy a pass. We estimate about 2.5 people per vehicle. Okay. And so sometimes that's more, sometimes that's less. But we do generate, that's not necessarily reflective of our overall revenue. So we do generate a bit more than what it takes to run the state parks, but our spending authority is actually set by the legislature. So they take a look at our revenues and they determine how much we are able to spend on our operating expenses each year.
Very nice. Give people that website again, Missy, so they are up to date.
Yes, it's dnr.wi.gov, and they can find all things anniversary related by searching Out We Go, OUTWIGO.
Well, thanks for being here. This sounds, it's going to be a fantastic year, celebrating 125 years since the first state park in Wisconsin opened. That's Interstate State Park. Missy Van Landet is the Recreation Partnership Section Chief for the DNR. Thanks for being here, Missy. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That sounds like fun now. And we saw a story the other day.
You doing a January 1st hike?
No, there's absolutely no chance of doing January 1st hike. I've gone to events outside on January 1st, and it's always miserable. I think it's going to be a good idea. Like, I'm going to go to the Winter Classic hockey game at Soldier Field, and it's below zero, and I'm, being snowed out. This was a mistake. Because my chair is really warm. And I don't need to worry about, I'm not even going to try to use the porta potty because things are not going to go well. All right, when we come back, there's more. Sure there is. It's spanning the state.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit froedtert.com/heart.
The original Botana's restaurant. More than 50 tequilas, 20 different margarita flavors, convenient parking, and the best service in town. Stop by to enjoy their weekday lunch specials. The original Botana's on 5th Street.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947 2929. Ask questions, get answers. Connect today toll free, 877-947-2929. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Every day, Wisconsin's 600,000 family caregivers help their loved ones to continue living safely in their own homes. It's not easy. Each year, they spend an average of $7,000 out of their own pockets to provide this care. Wisconsin needs family caregivers, and they need more support. Tell your state lawmakers, Wisconsin family caregivers need a caregiver tax credit in 2025. Learn more at aarp.org/WI. That's aarp.org/WI. Paid for by AARP Wisconsin.
And now here's Chip Davis, founder and musical director of Mannheim Steamroller, with today's Christmas Countdown.
Today, it's the truth about Santa, whose story surprisingly begins with the Greek god Poseidon. The ancient Greeks believed that Poseidon provided everything good, and a good harvest, a good life. It all came from Poseidon. Some 2,000 years later, in 25 AD, a Christian church was built on the ruins of an old Poseidon temple. It was home to a kind and benevolent bishop who wore bright red and green robes. His name was Nicholas. And like Poseidon, he also gave gifts, but only to good little children each Christmas. Tomorrow, how Nicholas became our modern Santa Claus. And I'm Chip Davis of Mannheim Steamroller.
This holiday, focus on what truly matters and let Incogni protect your online privacy. Give the gift of security and peace of mind. Incogni.com.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
A story I forgot to tell because both of you were out. So when I filled in for Steve on Friday, someone called in and Isaac answered. And he said the person called in for one saying a compliment to Joe Specky, but then also said that he likes our show too, but that he always turns off at 2:50 because he hates this song.
Really? Oh, dude, how do you hate REO Speedwagon?
So I don't know if he's still listening. If he promises if he keeps that threat, but I thought that was funny.
That is very funny.
And now I will never forget it every time we play the song.
Sometimes we don't play it till 54. You're missing fine content. Do you have a real tree or a fake Christmas tree?
This year we did a real tree. Mike had a fake tree that we've used the last couple years, but it was one of the ones that had the lights already on it.
Yeah.
And so every year it was just like, which ones were out, which ones weren't. And it was just, how do you ethically get rid of a fake tree so it doesn't just end up in a landfill somewhere?
I've donated a couple.
Yeah, that's what we've tried to do.
I've sold a couple that were unlit, that we were just downsizing or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. See, that's the problem.
Yeah, but we did a real one this year. It smells
nice.
It smells incredible. Shout out to Kellner's in River West on Humboldt. If you need a tree, they're wonderful, independently owned.
Nice. How'd you find the price?
I think we spent $72.
That is right about on the average.
Yeah.
Because there was a report. People are very excited. The price for Christmas trees did not go up this year. The price for Christmas trees is the same as last year. They're saying before this season, prices rose annually over the past 5 years. They would start at about $75 before COVID. But according to the Journal Sentinel, the average price of a 7 to 8 foot Fraser fir or balsam tree, which is the most common height and species for Christmas trees for you aficionados, between $95 and $110.
Okay.
So you got a good deal.
I got a good deal.
Did you?
Like I said, Kellner's.
What do you go? 7 foot, 8 foot?
I think it's like 7 feet.
Nice. We used to get Fraser. We used to get Douglas firs and then Fraser firs when I was a kid. And then when I was moved into my first apartment, I got an artificial tree because I was on the road and I didn't want to come home to a fire.
Yeah.
So then I always just had an artificial tree. And since I can't smell, I couldn't smell a real tree anyway. And then, like when Molly was a kid, she'd say sometime, "Oh, maybe I should. Can we get a real tree next year?" And I'd say, "Yeah, okay." And then next year would come, "I don't want a real tree." So we've always had artificial, and now we have, like I said the other day, 3 full size and a small artificial tree in the house.
The best thing about artificial trees is the ability to bend the branches so that the ornaments don't fall off, and so you can place it kind of where you need it to be versus just how nature intended it to be.
And there's no hole, and it's not. You don't have to try to. Every year, it was the most traumatic thing. I would be holding the real tree in the stand. My dad would be on the ground trying to tighten the old school thing, and my mom would be standing in the dining room screaming that it wasn't straight. And then she would run to the front hall and look at it from this angle. It's not straight. And my dad would hold the tree still. And he's down there with a wrench. It was insane.
It was traumatic?
Yes.
It was traumatic.
So now I drop in the pole. It's always straight. Boom. Hey, tree's up. Let's go. I'm like a reverse Clark Griswold. There's no digging. There's no bend over. I'll show you.
There's no squirrels.
It's just no squirrels. Nothing. Perfect. Love it. All right. Well, I guess we got to go.
We got to go.
Because the boss has walked in, and that's always a good sign.
I think he's hosting again today.
Oh, good. All right. That's, listen, it's good for me.
Multiple hats.
It's nice to see him remember what it's like to be a working man instead of just a suit. We'll be back tomorrow. The Wisconsin's Afternoon News is next.
See ya.
The Trivia Showdown is on.
Get ready for another stop in our WTMJ Trivia.